in order, and the date is Monday, February 8th, 2021. And Anthony, if you can do the roll call of attendance, please.
Chairwoman Fogarty.
Here.
First Vice Chairwoman Diaz.
Here.
Second Vice Chair Hawkins. Representative Alzadey.
Here.
Representative Asanaro.
Present.
Representative Casey. Representative Benton Fung.
Present.
Representative Geraldo.
Present.
Representative Henrys.
Present.
Representative Kazarian.
She
Representative
has car trouble, so she's going to be a little bit late.
Representative Kislak.
Present.
Representative Lombardi.
Present.
Representative Perez. Representative Price. No, he's
Here.
Representative Ruggiero. We do have a quorum,
Okay.
Chairwoman.
Thank you. I will entertain a motion to hold all of the bills that we're going to hear today for further study.
So moved.
Been moved, and I think seconded. Can we have a roll call, Anthony, on holding the bills? For
Yes. I'll call each person's name, just need a yes or no. Chairwoman Fogarty.
Yes.
First Vice Chair Diaz.
Yes.
Second Vice Chair Hawkins.
Yes.
Representative Alzadey.
Yes.
Representative Asanaro.
Yes.
Representative Casey. Representative Benton Fung.
Yes.
Representative Geraldo.
Yes.
Representative Henrys.
Yes.
Representative Kazarian. Representative Kislak.
Yes.
Representative Lombardi.
Yes.
Representative Perez. Representative Price. Representative Ruggiero. 11 in favor.
I'm
All
am I
set.
getting an echo?
We got 11 in favor.
Or is everybody getting an echo or just me?
It just might be you. Well, thank you, Anthony, and no, Representative Price, I'm not getting an echo.
I'm not either.
Me either.
You sound fine to us.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so first on the docket today, we have House Bill 5252 by Representative Carson, and this is an act relating to motor and other vehicles, registration of vehicles, and it creates a special motor vehicle registration plate for the Rhode Island Lighthouse Foundation. Representative Carson is kind enough to have joined us today. Welcome, Representative Carson. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Chairwoman. I'm one of the many requesting representatives this year that wants to put together a new license plate. And Rhode Island, some of you may know, is a small island that's off to the right of the Newport Bridge as you go over the Newport Bridge. And it's called Rhode Island because at low tide it looks like a rose. It is managed privately by the Rhode Island Foundation. And you can take a boat over there, and actually the lighthouse has a small bed and breakfast in it, and you can go stay in the lighthouse. I've never done that. It's kind of a cool place. There's a small little garden on the property. They have had a whole host of volunteers over the past 20 years that have really managed and upkept the property. And it's a historical site because you may know that Goat Island was used for, and Fort Adams, of course, was a military site, but Goat Island, which is just south of there, was owned by the Navy and used for military purposes up until World War II. I think World War I for sure. I don't know about World War II. And Rhode Island was also used for storage for some military support and weaponry during wars. So it does have historic value, and the Rhode Island Foundation is a nonprofit organization that has asked me to see if we can get a license plate for them. I think it commemorates the fact that we are intrinsically tied to the sea in Rhode Island. We have many, many lighthouses, and so this at least will signify to both Rhode Islanders as well as out-of-staters that our lighthouses are really important to us and significant to our heritage. So I would ask you to consider this bill. But before I close my remarks, and as I prepare to talk to you this evening, I know that there are several other bills on the agenda this evening to create license plates. And I know that when the bill was heard last year in special legislation, I remember we learned some of the things that you all heard Buddy Craddock say last week, which is that the creation of these licenses is expensive and sort of a challenge to DMV. And I understand that. I remember being in the committee hearing last year and hearing the tune of about $30,000 cost for each license plate that we put out there. And I think that's something to think about. I remember last year the Special Legislation Committee being shocked at that when we heard the numbers. And folks asked Buddy a lot of questions last week. I actually listened to that committee hearing to learn about how the remote testimonies would work. I tuned into your meeting last Tuesday or Monday, I guess. So I do think that you have some challenges before you with respect to how the specialized license plates are created and how they're paid for and how they're funded and the systems that are used. And so I'm advocating for the Rose Island Lighthouse Foundation license plate, but I'm also advocating that you take a broader comprehensive
Yes, I
look
just
at
want to
the
let you know
license
that
plates are put
Rep.
together.
Lombardi is going to call
Because
in.
it did seem as though in the past year, we've learned a lot about the things that need to get done in order to create these license plates. So I appreciate your support on this, and hopefully my license plate bill might squeak through this year. So thank you, Chairwoman, for letting me speak.
Thank you, Representative Carson. Is there anybody who has any questions for Representative Carson?
And again, speak up because I might not be able to see you all. You do. But I will let you know, Rep. Carson, I think that we're going to really try to get a breakdown on exactly what the costs are from Mr. Craddock and try to figure out if there's a way that we can make this happen for some people. I know that you have to have up to 600 plates before you,
Sure.
you know, to be able to, you know, have this move forward. And I just don't understand the cost of it too. So I've had it explained a couple of times, but I really like to see a breakdown on the sheets on why it's so expensive.
I think that's a move. I would encourage you to do that.
Yes, yes. Okay, is there any other questions on House?
I had a question.
By all means, Representative Lombardi.
Can you hear me, Rep. Carson?
Sure can.
Yeah, that was one of the questions I was going to ask with Chair Fogarty indicated. My other question is, are there any grants or scholarships or something that we can hook into, that maybe would there be matching funds or something like that where we could defray the cost that way, Rep?
Well, I mean, that's sort of a creative idea there, Representative, to see if, I don't know how that would work, because foundations don't necessarily give money to the state. So, you know, so it costs about $30,000 to do a license plate. So maybe if you consider asking the nonprofits to find some of that money. But again, the financial relationship is a little bit of a challenge there. I don't know how that would work.
Yeah, but
that's kind of an interesting idea.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have to start thinking outside the box, and, you know, if we can get the Preservation Society or somebody to, you know, donate some money, and, you know, maybe we can match it. It makes the leap a little easier than it does, you know. It's, you know, a 2-foot jump is a lot easier than a 6-foot jump. That's all I'm saying, and I'm not trying to speak out against it. I mean, obviously there's some value and merit to, you know, preservation. I mean, I live in a historical district myself, and, you know, it's many times people they resisted at first, but then after they say, boy, you know, when those same houses that they paid $80,000 for being sold for $600,000-700,000, then they go, wow, that was a heck of an investment that I made, you know. So, and they end up looking smart. I've never looked smart, but everyone else does. So it's great, but just something to think of, you know, and I'd be willing to work with anybody on that if need be.
Okay. Thank you, Representative Lombardi, and you're you're really giving yourself a bad name by saying that. You're very smart. You add to all of our meetings.
Thank you, Chair.
Again, if there's any questions for Representative Carson on House Bill 5252, just speak up now.
Chairwoman, can you see us here? Sorry, here in the building. It's Rep. Benton Fung.
Oh, no, I cannot see you. I was trying to look for the building. So, there you are. You just popped up. Okay.
Thank you, Chairwoman. So, Rep. Carson, I couldn't agree with you more. I think after last week, a bunch of us started asking some questions, and we're starting to get some preliminary data. But for a program that's costing $35,000 for a plate to get the charity $1,200, seems to be like we could be doing this a lot better. And
Right.
I really, I love the spirit, and I love that we're trying to create a better community and working together. But I definitely think we could do this better, and I think a bunch of us should really get together and try to find either from just a commission or whatnot to see what we can do to better serve our charities. It looks like from the numbers I was given by Administrator Craddock, about 73% of these charities fail to meet the minimum number of plates. So like clearly, it's a program that we want to see happen. I'd love to see how other states are doing it better. And I think you bring up a great point, and I think some of us should really get together formally and see what we can do to better make this a better program. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Representative Benton Fung. Is there anybody else again speak up?
Chairman
Yes.
Fogarty.
Yes.
Hi.
Representative.
Yeah, no, I'm just looking at the, there was a couple of letters that Bud Craddock did send in talking about these license plates. Has everyone had a chance to look at those? It's asking for like a $10 fee increase on that particular plate when you re-register the vehicle.
Yes. Yes. Again, go ahead, Representative Asanaro.
Yeah, I don't know that would be enough. There are the other charitable plates, when we talk about them, it's like a $40 surcharge at the beginning.
Right.
$20 goes to the state, $20 goes to the charitable foundation.
Right.
And then there's a, did he say there was a $10 or $20 fee to register the car every year with this other vanity, it's a vanity type plate. But one thing that I've talked to Bud Craddock about, not recently, but a year or two ago, was there's another procedure for making these plates, and I don't know that they're pursuing this, but it's like a laser type of a printout that goes on just an ordinary piece of metal or aluminum, whatever it might be. That would be a lot less expensive than to make emboss a plate like the ones we get now. So it's something to pursue, I think, to make this more feasible for people that are looking to get these plates, because I know a lot of people, I put legislation in a couple of years ago for D. Strong, if you remember, the boy that had the cancer, who was only like 8 years old, that passed away, and that has never developed because you don't get enough people signing up for the plate.
Right.
Yeah, that's what the problem is with all of these. Yes, I agree. Thank you, Representative Asanaro. I think you bring up some good points, and maybe the lasers are the way to go. And anything we can do to bring down the price and try to get, these plates rolling out there on the roads. Right. Again, any other questions for Representative Carson for 5252? Okay, hearing none, I'm going to close the hearing on House Bill 5252, and I've been told that Representative Kazarian has joined us, and I'd like to know if she would like to be in the affirmative on holding all of these bills for further studies.
Hi, Chairwoman. Yes, that's correct, Chairwoman. I would like to be marked in the affirmative for holding all bills for further study. And I believe that our Chair Casey has the same request. He's also... yeah.
Rep. Casey is here also.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Okay. Anthony, you got that for
Noted. Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Okay, Rep. Carson is staying with us because now we're going to move on to House Bill 5253. And this is Act relating to solemnization of marriages. And this allows the Honorable Justice James D. Gleason to join Julius C. Scott and Brandon T. Elanio in marriage on or about August 28th of 2021 within the city of Newport. Representative Carson, it's pretty self-explanatory.
Pretty simple one. These two folks want to get married and have this person perform their ceremony. And so I think it's a pretty easy thing for you folks to consider passing. Thank you very much.
I do agree. Are there any questions about this with Representative Carson? I just hope that they are able to do it in the era of COVID.
All right.
As you well know, Representative
As I well know.
Okay, if there are no other questions for Representative Carson, we will conclude the House Bill 5253 and any more discussions on that. Okay, thank you, Representative Carson, for joining us. And next, we are going to get Representative Amore on the line for House Bill 5254, and this is an act relating to motor vehicle and other vehicle registration of vehicles Again, authorizing the administrator of DMV to issue special license plates to the Friends of Boham Rocks Lighthouse. I hear the bells chiming, so I'm assuming Representative Amore has joined us.
Yep.
Hello, Chairwoman Fogarty. How are you, members of the committee?
Very well, Representative Amore. So I've just read about your bill, so you have the floor.
I move passage.
Oh, okay.
Can't do that. So this is obviously a license plate bill to promote Friends of Palm Rock Lighthouse. The lighthouse was built in 1871. It was restored over 14 years, completion in 2018. It's about 800 feet from Riverside Shoreline in District 65. It is historical, obviously, 1871. It's been completely restored to its original look and feel, although it's been done with modern materials. And it's 7 rooms. There's electricity there now. There are events held there. The only thing that is not there and hasn't been there since 1956 is a lighthouse keeper. So I'm looking after my retirement to be the next lighthouse keeper at Palm Rocks. But this is a great organization. They've raised hundreds of thousands of dollars to restore this beautiful lighthouse in the Providence River, the mouth of the Narragansett Bay. And this license plate would help continue the maintenance of this historical treasure. So thank you, Chairwoman.
Yeah. The only thing, oh, well, actually, I should say, does anybody have any questions for Representative Amore? Representative Lombardi. Oh, you're muted, Representative. Representative Lombardi.
Okay, now? Okay.
You're great.
Representative Amore, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Representative Lombardi.
A couple of things. Again, a cost. We need the cost. We've been asking for that as a matter of cost. And but more importantly, is there any way we can raise money through the Historical Society, some foundation, and because it makes our leap a little easier because we've got so many asks and requests this year. So and that's certainly something that I wouldn't mind being involved in if it was if it's your pleasure. That's all.
Thanks. Good
question.
Good question. Good question. Well, the restoration. The Historical Society was involved in the restoration, as was ExxonMobil, as was grants from the General Assembly. So there was money originally in the restoration. I think this is an organization that would clearly be able to meet the threshold of license plates, but I do understand there's a cost associated.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Are there any other questions for Representative Amore? Please speak up, since I might not see your hands raised. I don't hear anybody speaking up. I know it's about 600 plates, Representative Amore. That's what it seems to come out to as the cost to, get these plates, to buy the roll of the sheet metal to make all these particular plates. So I guess this would kind of start as if you could get a registration of people, you would probably know how many people you have interested in buying the plates, and that would start the process, I think, for, DMV. But just to let you know that's what we've been looking at for the price, for the amount of people.
We'll contact the Friends of Palm Rocks Lighthouse and see if they have a list of people that are already interested.
Yeah, I think that's a very good start. Okay, that's great. Again, anybody have any questions? No, I hear nobody. So I have a question.
Can you hear me, Kathy?
Yes, Representative Carson.
Excuse me, I'm not on the committee, but if I may just add a comment. I mean, as you deliberate what other options there are for funding to this, maybe, and I'm following up on Representative Benton Fung's comments, maybe it'd be helpful to include some of us who have sponsored legislation so we would know what the financial capacities are of our organizations so that we could come up with a strategy that sort of works for the nonprofit world. Like Greg seems to know what the financial capacity is for his organization. I don't really know mine. Just might be helpful to have that input if you start upping the price or increasing the fees or whatever.
Right. All right. Good point.
Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Again, anybody else? Hearing none, I will close the hearing on House Bill 5254. And then the last bill that we will have tonight is House Bill 5325. And this is by Representative Quattrucci. And this is an act relating to motor and other vehicles, registration of vehicles. And this permits Dyslexia Advocacy Rhode Island plates to be issued for passenger or commercial vehicles. And again, it's a maximum of 600 pre-ordered plates would be required, and it is documented in this legislation. I've been told that Representative Quattrucci will not be able to join us. He has a scheduling conflict. So I will open up to the group if anybody has any questions that I could try to answer. Representative Lombardi.
Kathy, I have the same questions that I've asked of everybody else. You know, what's the cost, and if there's, I mean, obviously that's something that's near and dear to my heart. I think I was one of the big supporters of the dyslexia with the education department. But yeah, and certainly whatever I can do, I would love to do what we're going to do for, again, people that are most in need. So yeah.
Yeah, I would reach out to Representative Quattrucci and see if he knows if with this group, because I know it's a pretty good amount of people who come in and testify for the dyslexia bills, that they might be able to reach that 600 plate threshold.
Great.
Again, any other questions that I might be able to answer from any of the other reps? All right. Hearing none, I will close the hearing on House Bill 5325. And with that, I will accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
To adjourn?
So moved.
Second. A second? Okay, been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Okay, and we are adjourned for this Monday evening. Enjoy your evening, everybody.
Have a good night.
Bye.